What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? We're gonna go ahead. Welcome back. We are here for Love After Lockup, season 3, episode 15. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. All right, so listen, y'all know how we TV like to drag stuff out. So they made us wait the whole episode to find out whether Destiny showed up for court. Okay, so they have Sean leaving the hotel an hour to her hearing. They got Sean standing out front of the courthouse, calling, and they keep coming back in the countdown. 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes. And then finally, her sister, and her mom pull up. And she was like, why were you worried? I don't understand. You're stressing out for no reason. Maybe if you had called him back, maybe if you had texted him saying, we on our way, we're 10 minutes away, I'm on my way, he probably would have been chilling. But the fact that you kept sending him the voicemail and ignoring his calls, now I get it. He was pressing you out. I got that. But I also understand why he was pressing you out. But like I said from the beginning, I continue to say, boo, you shouldn't have done it if you didn't have it to lose. Like, I always feel that way about gambling. Like, you go into the casino, you figure out what you can afford to lose, because the reality is you probably gonna lose. So figure out what you can afford to lose, and if you lose it, keep it moving. But that's the problem with, that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. Neither here nor there. She did finally show up. We don't know what happened in court because they couldn't film. I guess I'm sure they couldn't film in court. And so all we saw was her mom, and her sister and him walking into the courthouse. And basically, she told the producers, listen, I'm trying to do better. Like in the past, I didn't go to court. In the past, I wouldn't show up for court. But I really am trying to do better. And so with me trying to do better, I'm here. She said usually court doesn't turn out too well for me, but I am here because I want to I want to do better. So okay, we got that. John and Christina, listen, I'm not gonna listen. I'm not. This episode was a lot. There's a lot going on in this episode, y'all. We had some serious situations going on. So we don't know Destiny. I'm pretty sure Destiny's fine though. She showed up for court, but we don't know what happened with that. We have John and we have Christina. So we got John moving in, her mom and her sister. And her mom was like, basically, we were living in the meth house. Now, mind you, her mama is on oxygen. And she said, I would be upstairs in my room, and the basement was basically a place where people came and did meth. Isn't that a lot of chemicals involved with? I don't know nothing about doing meth. Is meth a pill? What is meth, y'all? I mean, I know what it is. I know it's a drug, but like, do you pop a pill? People make it. I know it's made with anyway. Forget it. I don't want to know that much about it. I'm glad I don't know. Let me be ignorant. But she said that basically it was people coming in and out all day long, and they would be in that basement cooking up the meth. She said, and the sister will be right down there with them. Now, here's what I do know. Okay. I do know you don't stop using meth just because you move to a different location. So they talking like now that she not living in the meth house no more, she ain't gonna be doing meth. That's not how that works. That's not how any of that works. So John, you done moved in a whole drug addict into your house. Now, I probably would have told Christina, your mama can come, but your sister got to go into a program. And when your sister comes out of a program, then maybe we'll talk about her moving in with me. But as long as she still got that Jones on her back, she can't come to my house. Now your mama can come. Your mama can come. But your sister, she need to go to somebody's inpatient. That's how that conversation would have went. But whatever. They was moving them in. They moving them in. And then he gets a phone call from the halfway house saying, Christina is no longer a resident here. You got 30 days to come and get her stuff. And he was like, what you mean? He said she's left the program. Well, we know that she ain't leave the program because it was a good thing, because he was her point of contact, which is the reason why they were even calling him. And he said, well, what happened? And they were like, well, we can't get into that. I'm not at liberty to discuss that, but you got 30 days to come and get her stuff. So immediately he was like, I need to go down to Dubuque. Now, I don't know how far he lives from Dubuque, but he was like, I need to go. And he tells the sister, I need you to go with me. The sister was like, not. She said, I'm not going. She said, first of all, it's not like you're just going to drive down there and find her. Like, that's not how that works. Second of all, you want me to take you to all the places where we get high. she said, I'm probably going to end up sitting down next to her and getting high with her. Again, that's why her ass need to be in a program. That's why her. But listen, I ain't mad at her for telling him she wasn't going. She was like, mm-mm. Now, part of me was like, this man giving you a whole place to live, okay? He done moved you out the meth house, and he done gave you a whole place to live, and you can't go help him find his boo. But then the other side of me was like, listen, as a drug addict, she being smart. Like, listen, I already know how I roll. I know that if I roll up out of here, I'm going to roll up over there, I'm going to be getting high with her. Like, I don't have that kind of self-control. And then the mother was like, listen, this your first time dealing with this, okay? We have dealt with Christina falling off the wagon and relapsing 25,672 times, okay? We know how this works. We know what the pattern is. Because the sister was like, even if you do find her, she ain't coming with you. Even if you do find her, like right now, she doesn't care. All she's worried about is getting high. She's like, we've been there, done that. Like, I know from my own experience, all you can do is just sit here and wait until she reaches out to you, because you're not going, like this, it's not going to be a good situation if you just go down there. And then the mother started telling him how rough it was. She was like, listen, you don't want to go just riding around Dubuque, knocking on doors. Like, somebody open the door with a shotgun and bust your head open for no reason, and they'd be out. I was like, well, what the fuck is Dubuque? Like, I had heard of Dubuque, y'all. I said, well, let me look up some statistics on Dubuque, because they was talking about Dubuque like it was the Wild Wild West. Like, it was shoot 'em up, bang, bang. Like, it was like, remember that old documentary from back in the day? What was it called? Banging in Arkansas or whatever? And people started looking at Arkansas totally different, because people thought Arkansas was like, white bread, mid-America, Bill Clinton. And then people was like, nah, it goes down in Arkansas. That's what I started thinking about with the Dubuque. I said, well, what the fuck is going on down to the Dubuque? Well, later on in the episode, honey, John drove down there. He went by himself. Now, he must have gotten Christina on the phone, right? Because he's driving around. He's looking. He parks the car, and he starts looking around this empty parking lot. And then he sees her, and he was like, is that her? Is that her? And he starts running, And then, and she told him, she said, listen, I got triggered. I got high. I fucked up, And, she said, honestly, every time I say it's going to be different, and I get out and I fall back again. And here's the thing, and this is what I'm going to say to you, John, and I know you're not listening. Something she said was very interesting and very important. She said, the only time I do well is when I'm in prison. I want you to hear that again, John. The only time I do well is when I'm in prison. John, let it go. You're going to have to let that one go. She can't do no better than what she's doing. And I'm not saying she never, ever, ever, because I know that, there's hope. I know there's always hope. But in the situation she's in, if they're going to keep releasing her to a halfway house that's full of people that either she used to get high with, buy drugs from, like, there's going to always be, that's not a healthy situation. Until she can get in a situation where she's released either free and clear, and y'all can put her in a intensive program to help her deal with being in the outside world and dealing with those temptations, it sounds like that's a really bad cycle that she's in. And, sidebar, and this is real talk, they really do need to look at that whole halfway house situation. I know it can be a great opportunity for people to get out of jail and be sort of halfway in, halfway out. But if it's going, like, I don't know. And I know that the prison system don't have the resources to do all of the blah, 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 blah. But they really need to maybe have different types of halfway houses. And make sure, like, I know when I worked in the juvenile detention facility, co-conspirators couldn't be together. They would be at different facilities. And so, like, maybe they could do something like that with these halfway houses. Like, make sure that you are not there with any known associates. Because if these were people you used to get high with, like, it's got to, like, you, come on. Anyway, neither here nor there. They reunite, and John was like, listen, there's basically a warrant out for her arrest, but I'm taking her home so we can figure out what our next steps are. Now, a part of me was like, I get it. Like, let's get a clear head. Let's figure out, like, what we're going to do as far as turning her in and all that good stuff. But then he said something about, we may just go to a country with no extradition and just keep it moving. Dude, it's not that deep. No extradition. You know it ain't that serious, right? Okay. I mean, this with a woman that you. Okay. Y'all haven't even. Okay. But you didn't even know. Okay. Anyway. Maybe he gonna sell his Freddy Krueger collection. Did y'all see all that Freddy Krueger memorabilia that he had around the house when they were showing his house? Y'all might not have noticed it. I picked up on it. Listen, we might need to have a question about you and your obsession with Freddy Krueger. But again, another conversation for another day. Heather and Dylan. This gonna be easy, child. Heather's crazy as fruit snacks. Okay? They're on their way back to the house. Now, here's what I don't understand. Dylan, were you supposed to call your parole officer when you got to the house, and because you got caught up with swapping old stories with Auntie and Heather's foolishness, did you forget that that's what you were supposed to do? Like, did you know this man was coming to the... Like, I don't understand. The man shows up and y'all not there, and the man was like, you do know that you're supposed to check in. Like, you know, he tried to shake the man's hand. He was like, nah, we ain't doing that. I said, damn, he can't even shake your hand down. And, you know, he looked at his paperwork and everything, and he asked him, he was like, you know, this is your first time on parole. Like, you really don't want to screw this up. He said, I know. I'm sorry, sir. You know, I apologize, he said. But basically, y'all was on y'all way to be gone for however long y'all were going to be gone for. It didn't occur to you that maybe you needed to check in before you decided to, like, ride off into the sunset for a couple of days to a hotel with Heather? That didn't occur to you? I don't understand. Like I'm sure they went over what you were supposed to do. But neither here nor there. The parole officer did not violate him. You know, he basically told him, look, I'm doing you a favor. Because for real, like, you ain't do what you were supposed to do. And I've been sitting here waiting for your ass. Like, I don't know where you've been and what you've been doing. He goes in, of course, he apologizes to Auntie, like, I'm so sorry to put you in that situation. I'm not going to put you there again. She was like, yeah, I know. And then Heather, of course, now she's even more upset and irritated because now they kind of are stuck to the house because now they're scared to leave because they don't know what, you know, they don't know if the man going to double back, come back the next day or whatever. So now they scared to leave, right? So then they end up going in her room and having sex, which is what they should have just done to begin with. Like, I get it. You don't want your 90-year-old aunt to hear you get your groove on. And I get it that this is a house with, you know, probably thin doors, walls, or whatever. You just going to have to pretend like you back in high school when you was having sex with your boyfriend when your mama was home. You're going to have to just keep them oohs and ahs to a minimum. Put a pillow over your head. Do something. Play some music. Girl. But that situation that's a disaster waiting to happen. That's just a disaster waiting to happen. Oh, Lord. Oh, God. Anyway, so, child, let's get back here to, what's his name? Oh, shoot. Oh, Lord. Now I can't remember none of these people's names. Y'all know I've been doing good with the names. I've been trying to do good with the names. Oh, Lord. Let me just have to look up the name. The Lindsay and Scott. Oh, gosh. Lord, I thought I was going. Okay. Lindsay and Scott. So we left off with Scott finding Lindsay's master plan, right? And to Scott's credit, he really wasn't backing down at first. He wasn't backing down. And she was going through this whole dramatic about, it's just a quote from a book. First of all, that's not a quote. A quote is not 2 paragraphs long. That's not. Second of all, Scott brought up a good point. Scott was like, listen. If it's a quote from a book, just show me the book. Just find it. Like, you could put that quote in Google and it'll give you where it came from. Like, if that's truly a quote from a book, and she said that the book was about a woman, a con artist who goes to jail for scamming old men. Here's my thing. Even if it did come out of a book, which, girl, I'm not walking down that road with you. But even if it did come out of a book, the fact that it came out of a book about a woman who goes to jail for scamming old men would still make me pause if I were Scott. Y'all understand what I'm saying? The fact that you thought that information was so... She said, well, when I read interesting stuff, I write it down. The fact that you thought that was an interesting statement and you decided to write it down. Once again, I have to say, why? It's talking about how to scam somebody, how to get a sugar daddy. Scott is your sugar daddy. I would still feel some kind of way. If I was Scott, I'm still feeling some kind of way. Right? Am I crazy? So then she said she calls the halfway house because she wants to go. She wants to go move in with her mom. She wants to get out of there. She feels like she's stuck in the house with Scott. He doesn't trust her. It's too much. Everything is crazy. This, and this, and this, and that. So now she wants to move. So she calls the insurance, I mean not the insurance, Lord, the halfway house, and at first they told her it might be a possibility or whatever. They had to ask. So then she calls her mother. Her mother gives her permission to come because she made it, seem like things were so horrible with Scott, and he lied to her about this, and he lied about that, and this, and this, and this, and that. So then she calls back to the halfway house, and they were like, oh, well, you're gonna have to wait till Monday. So this must have happened over a weekend. He was like, because they're already closed already. You got to wait till Monday, so maybe a Friday. So then she gonna tell Scott, well, he lucky that I can't do anything till Monday. I'm stuck here. So then they have this conversation about her intentions and why it would bother him and why it was so upsetting. And he's like, what if, he said, have I not, like, what have I done that's so bad? Like, have I not been, I guess, been what I said I was? And she was like, he said, for the exception of the house not being ready. Like, did I not do everything you needed me to do as far as sending you money and things like that? Like, what would make you think that I'm just can't be trusted, horrible person? And she was like, well, you went through my things. He was like, okay, you're right. That was kind of bad. I shouldn't have gone through your stuff. And you're right, Scott. You should not have gone through her stuff. But the house not being ready, I told y'all before, I feel her on the house not being ready situation because I was kind of like, why isn't the house ready? And she said, money seemed like it wasn't an issue until I got out. Now all of a sudden money's a problem. And I think it really boils down to, a lot of other people have said the same thing. I think it boils down to Scott doesn't have as much money as he pretended that he had. I think it just really boils down to he probably is comfortable, right? He's probably comfortable, but he ain't rich beyond, he could just be dropping. And I think that house was a fixer-upper. I think he bought a foreclosure or a fixer-upper, and he, that stuff costs money. Those projects are expensive, and I really think that between working and reestablishing his company in a different state or whatever, the money he had in the bank, the savings he had, and sending her money and taking care of her mama and her daughter, I'm thinking his money just not as flush as he tried to pretend like it was. I just really think that boils down to. But anyway, I feel like they made up by the end, child, whatever. Because she was like, I really do love Scott, girl. The jury is still out. Now, last but not least, y'all, let's finish this up. We have Chandra and we have Tyrese. Now, not only did Chandra ghost Tyrese, she ghost production. And that's why we weren't seeing any, like, confessionals or anything from her, because she wasn't talking to production either. So they finally got in touch with her. They finally got her to talk to them. She's in Kansas City, child. Now, remember, old boy is in Detroit. She is in Kansas City, and she looked like, they showed her planting a garden, and she said that she only been out for 3 months. She done got her a car. She looked like she living in a decent house. I don't know. They never said whether it was her mama house or family house or whatever, but a decent home. She done got her car. She has her job. She seems to be doing pretty decent, right? She said that she ghosted. She said, listen, I really did like Tyrese, when we were talking in jail and he came to visit me. She said, I really did like him, okay? She said, but when I saw him in that blue suit, it just did something to me. And it really, she said, there just was nothing. She said, and then when he kissed me, there were just no sparks. There was just nothing. And she said, I really have been focusing on myself. I've been focusing on getting myself together, getting my life together, and just doing what I need to do for me. She said, but he didn't deserve what I did. She said, he kept calling and texting. So then I just changed my phone number altogether. And, she was like, he didn't deserve that. He didn't deserve what I did. So production was like, well, would you, you think you would call him? She was like, sure, I'll call him. Girl, she gonna call him and he gonna answer the phone. She gonna say, "Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up?" And he said, "Where you been? Like, what's going on?" And she said, so she gave him the spiel about, she was just trying to get herself together, and she apologized for ghosting him, and she really wished she had handled things better. And he was like, "Well, I was worried about you. I didn't know something happened to you. No, I didn't know something was wrong. Like, I was really worried about you." And she was like, "Yeah, I'm really sorry about it, but maybe we could still be friends." He was like, "Nah, we good. I don't want to be your friend. Have a nice life." Click. I said, "Okay, Tyrese." But the producers asked her, "But what about the other guys that you were talking to when you were in jail? Like, are you still talking to them?" And all she said was, "I've moved on." Now, I don't know if she meant she moved on from Tyrese, and yes, she was talking to some of them other folks, or she just moved on from everybody. I don't know. I couldn't read between them lines, and she just sort of grinned. I said, "Mm-hmm." One of them, she already had a dude, and that's who house she living in. Okay. I don't think she ever had any intention of doing right by Tyrese. And I feel bad because I think Tyrese really was sincere and genuine. I think Tyrese is lonely. He said he can meet women wherever, but I don't think that's necessarily the case. Not because he's ugly or anything like that, but I just think, it ain't easy. Like, if it were easy, nobody would be single. It's not easy meeting people. And I think that he was lonely and he found himself a little young, something, and he thought it was going to be what it was going to be, and it just wasn't. So anyway, y'all, but it was the blue suit. She said, "Honey," she saw him in that blue suit, honey, and she said, "Oh no, oh no, we can't do that. Oh no." Okay. Oh damn, child, I done forgot. Whole couple. Last but not least, let's go on and talk about it because this ain't gonna take. Well, this. I'm sorry, y'all. This is running kind of long because I really totally forgot about. I had a lot of commentary this time. I totally forgot about our last couple. So we have Maurice and Jessica. Now, Maurice and Jessica are headed over to her parents' house. And Maurice and Jessica is like, "Listen, just don't tell my dad. Don't tell my parents we're pregnant. Like, we're going to hold on to that. We don't want to tell anybody just yet." And so, Maurice keeps talking about how, he really likes her dad. And, he really hopes that they can have a relationship because he's the closest thing to a father he's ever had. And, he really wants to build that with him. So they get to the house and Jessica and her mom end up going out. They going shopping and leave the guys there. So Jessica's dad is showing him how to do some welding. And so they had that little moment together, whatever. And they get to talking, and he says something about, "Yeah, you think you're ready, to be a family, you ready to take care, if y'all decide to have kids, like, are you really ready for that?" And he was like, "Listen, I'm not gonna lie to her dad. Like, I told her that I wouldn't tell her father that we were pregnant, but I'm not going to lie to him either." Now, my thing was, you not saying anything is not you lying. Because when he said, "Do you think you're going to be ready?" Excuse me. "Do you think you're going to be ready to have children?" The answer to that is yes. We getting there. We working on it. Yes. That didn't mean you would be lying to the father to not tell the father y'all already pregnant. Like I said before, a lot of people don't say anything in the first trimester. So much just goes wrong in the first trimester for a lot of women. So anyway, he goes on and tells the man that they pregnant and that he really wants to do right by Jessica. He said, "I'm asking you for your daughter's hand in marriage. Like, I really want to propose to her, have a wedding. I really want to do it right because we got married in jail, and there really is no wedding in jail. Like, you just say, 'Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do,' and then y'all do the paperwork, and that's it." And so the father was like, "Yeah, he said the jury is still out on him. I don't know how I really feel, but she loves him, and I'm gonna give him a chance. I'm gonna give him a chance." So the man ends up giving him $1,000, right? He just happened to have $1,000 laying around in his house. I want them kind of problems. Anyway, and he says, "Listen, I want you to do right. I want you to give my daughter a decent ring. I want you to do a decent proposal. So here's some money for you to take care of that. Get her a decent ring." Now, we know that this $1,000 is still not going to be no, Cartier, but it'll get her a decent little, stone put on her finger, take her to a nice restaurant, get down on one knee kind of situation. And he said, "Now, this is a loan. This is a loan." And, he was like, "Listen, he said, nobody's ever done this for me. He said, this is more money than anybody's ever given me in my life added up together." He said, you know, I'm gonna do right by you. I don't want you to I'm gonna do right by you. I don't want to violate your trust. He said, I'm gonna pay you this money back. He said, I'm gonna pay you your money back. So we'll see what happens with that child. Cause she gonna be mad as hell when she get home and find out that he done told the daddy that she was pregnant. She ain't want that. She ain't want her daddy to know that. She ain't want her daddy to know. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. This ran a little long, but I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.